Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode number 48 of the Sports Blitz. Hope everybody is doing well out there. As always, I'm Robbie, joined by Doug. Doug, how are you tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty well. I came out of my cave yesterday and decided that it would be good to see some sunlight. So, it's been pretty warm, pretty hot in the cave, but I'm out and ready to roll on our next episode, man.
Very excited. And we do have a lot to talk about because finally, after 4 months, 4 long months of just quarantine and nothing at all other than watching reruns of, I don't know, Big Bang Theory or whatever the hell you people chose to watch out there on TV. Live sports is back, folks. That's right. Baseball kicked off last week. The NHL is back. They have exhibition games these last couple of nights, and then we'll start the regular season up this weekend. And the NBA season is starting tonight, actually going on right now. So a lot to get to.
Yeah, you got it, man.
During this episode, we're going to start with the sport that started up first and sort of the restart, the starting of the season process, and that is Major League Baseball and the Boston Red Sox. And you know what? I can't even put a happy face on this one, folks. I'm going to tell you right off the bat. The Red Sox, they won their season opener. That was great. They won last night. That was great. They are winning tonight, which is great. Other than that, folks, to put it plainly and simply, the season has sucked so far. The season has sucked. I know we're only
Hey,
6 games.
Robbie.
Oh, no, now the Mets are winning. Just as I say that, the Mets just took the lead.
I think he's holding back, folks. I think he's holding back.
It is.
We got to tell him
Unbelievable.
Don't hold back, Robbie.
How bad. And maybe I should have been surprised. Maybe I should not have been surprised given all the glaring, issues with this team that we saw, sort of in the lead up to the start of the season. I don't know. But it has been worse than I expected. And that is very hardly possible for it to be worse than I expected, and it has been. The pitching staff, or as I like to call it, hold on a second. I don't mean pitching staff. I mean Nathan Uvalde and the street gang that they pulled off of Brookline Avenue prior to Game 1.
Man,
that is seriously what it feels like. You look at some of these names.
I have a feeling we're not going to get High and Bloom on our show.
No, Ron Reddick's not walking through that door.
Dude, I was going to call him up tomorrow to see if he wanted to be on the next show, but if he sees this show, it's not going to be a good thing.
No, not going to happen. But, it's very frustrating to me as a lifelong Red Sox fan. It's been my favorite team since I was 6 years old, and to just see, I did not think it was possible. And I know it's only 5 games in, but I'm still going to say this with 100% conviction. I did not think it was possible for a Red Sox team to be more embarrassing than the 2012 Bobby Valentine team. And I was 100% wrong on that. This team, at least that team was in it somewhat for the first couple months of the season. This team, it's lucky it's a 60-game season, because having to watch 162 games of this, I don't know if I would. I may never watch baseball again after watching this team. It is that brutal. The offense, which is supposed to be, this great thing lineup-wise, is really just not been consistent. Doug, I'm going to get off my soapbox here and turn it over to you for a second to just sort of, put your 2 cents in here about the 2020 Boston Red Sox. More like rest in peace to the 2020 Boston Red Sox at this point. I'm scary Robbie, that's for sure. Gonna get a lot scarier as I go, probably. But just jump on in here. Give us your 2 cents about these 2020 Boston Red Sox.
Well, unfortunately, what I'm going to do, Robbie, is give you a cent worth because I don't think this team deserves to have 2 cents worth right now, and that should tell you how I feel right up front. It's beyond the I, I don't. Where do I start? I mean, it's the same thing you just said, Robbie. It's pitcher by committee. It's let's take this guy off the street in Brookline Ave, or maybe in Longwood Ave, where the hospitals are. Because they just came out. They just came out with their COVID test and they're negative. So let's put them as pitchers. Let's bring them in, and even a guy I like to listen to in the afternoon. He's just awesome. When it comes to, he didn't have a like what you'd call an all-star kind of career.
Oh, Lou Merlone.
Yeah, Lou Merlone is just a fabulous baseball guy. I mean, he knows the game really, really well. And even he said, he was joking at the beginning of the week, and he said, yeah, I'm going to name some names. And he was talking to Glenn Ordway at the time, and he said, Glenn, I want you to tell me whether you know these guys or not. He started naming off names, and Glenn was like, I don't know that guy. I don't know that guy. Well, he's a starter. I don't know that guy. And then Glenn turned it back on him and said, well, you're the baseball guy. Do you know them? And he said, no, not really. I mean, it was a lot. Even last year, the year before, and he does some of the commentary for the Red Sox. What you do is you prepare, you do commentary. But typically, when you know the team really, really well, you don't have to do a lot of commentary about certain people because you already know them. You've already commentated on them for a few years now, so you kind of know. The only thing you need to look up is kind of their stats and what they've done a little bit just lately. But other than that, and then Lou said, "Yeah, I gotta prepare. I gotta actually go to the park and prepare because I don't have any clue who these guys are." And again, I know it just started. I get it, but I just don't know how they're going to be able to beat certain teams if
they can't even beat
the
Baltimore Orioles.
If they don't have starting pitching. I just don't understand.
2 out of 3 to the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, that's embarrassing in and of itself. 3 games, and that's only 3 games into the season. You lose 2 out of 3 to the Baltimore Orioles, who, besides the Miami Marlins, are the worst team in Major League Baseball.
Well, most of the Miami Marlins have COVID anyway, so it doesn't
no, exactly. Exactly, probably saving themselves from more embarrassment. It's brutal. It is brutal to watch.
It is. It is hard to watch.
It's hard to watch. To the point, Doug. I am not being facetious here. I have gotten to the point where I don't even care if MLB completes their season or not. I don't care.
I know we were texting about that at the beginning of the week.
I don't care because I would rather there not be an MLB season than have to sit and watch just like I said, colossal embarrassment that is the 2020 Boston Red Sox. I found myself watching a Celtics scrimmage the other night over the Red
That was
Sox
much more
game,
exciting.
Over the Red Sox game. I mean, it's just I am going on.
Bobby's totally going off. But by the way, anybody that's new to the show, what we do is we have the Zoom chat, kind of in the background, and Robbie and I are writing things back and forth, and you will hear them, and typically they're very funny. Sometimes they're not funny at all, and they just happen to do with us. But typically they are funny, and they're pretty hilarious. But I don't have many words right now, and you know what? it's one of those things when they start the season and they start the season 0-10, or 0-5 or 0-6. You kind of give them a little bit of a chance to be able to try to put some things together. They almost lost that 6-5 game. Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, they almost lost that game.
Yeah, because their bullpen
Thank
sucks.
God. Thank God for Vasquez.
Workman had bases loaded. Workman had the bases loaded with nobody out, and was lucky to eke out a win.
Robbie, you're better than Workman.
Yeah, I think you and I could be a better starting pitching rotation for the Red Sox than Matt Hall or whatever.
All right, so Robbie, I'm gonna call Chaim Bloom right now. I'm gonna call him. Hey, ringing. Oh, hold on a second. It's ringing.
I love how you say hey, then say hey, it's ringing afterward.
Hey, it's ringing.
Oh, Vasquez just homered again. So
it's still ringing. Hey, hello. I am Bloom. Yeah, it's Doug and Robbie from the Sports Blitz. I just wanted to find out whether you need some pitching. You do? Seriously? Well, do you want Robbie on to come by tomorrow? Oh, you do? Oh, that's awesome.
We'll come to
okay,
New York.
So what time? What time? Okay. Yeah, we'll come to New York. We don't care. Really? Oh, awesome. Okay, great. Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Okay, we got spots to go and start.
You're looking at the new fourth and fifth starters.
He's not even going to give us a tryout. He just needs people really badly. Don't even have to try out, Robbie. I just called him. He's all set.
Yeah, there we go.
He has contracts for us to sign when we get there.
Perfect. Yeah, it's just and it's funny. I put down on here bright spots so far for the Red Sox. Pitching wise, there are no bright except for Evaldi.
Are there any?
Well, actually, I will say this. Some of the new guys who have come in have actually looked somewhat decent. And Vasquez has 2 home runs tonight, by the way. So that definitely
Vasquez is playing like he's an all-star, dude.
Yeah, but Verdugo. No, you're right. But Verdugo has looked okay. Has looked pretty good so far, I think. Peraza, I don't know who the hell he is, but Peraza has
good player.
Moments.
Not a bad player.
Obviously, unfortunately, the star guys, so to speak, the Benintendi's endeavors have not been bright.
They've sucked
by any means. I think they're maybe at this point 2 for 40 at this point, 2 for 30. It's just been
something like that.
It's been a brutal start to the season for them.
It's been horrible.
Yeah, it really has not been good at all. But that's about it bright spot wise for the Red Sox. It has been a struggle and a half, and maybe we're jumping off the Tober Bridge, which we really should be doing anyway. But maybe we're jumping.
This is the question. This is the question I have. This is the question I have for you, Robbie.
Yes.
And this is a legit question without fooling around.
Yep.
Without fooling around. Legit question.
Keep face on.
Right. So if we started the season, regular season, no COVID, no problems, no nothing, fans in the park, blah blah blah, and they had this kind of start, what would you say to this kind of start?
Well, I guess I have to sort of get the context. Do we have the same? Are we still missing Rodriguez? Do we have the same pitching staff? What is the? I know Sale's out regardless, because he was having Tommy John surgery. So, but
yes.
What's the? I guess that
same. But obviously we have. It's Rodriguez is out with the COVID, the heart thing, right?
Yeah, but Rodriguez. If there was no COVID, Rodriguez would probably still be there.
Exactly. So we have Rodriguez. We have Rodriguez because there's no COVID. If we get the COVID, we have a whole season to do, and this is the start of the season. We have a full season. Nobody's wearing masks because there's no COVID, and everybody's in the stands, and everybody's doing whatever they need to do. Sale is out. and everybody is, but it's the same team right this very second. But you add Rodriguez into the mix.
Yeah.
What would your thoughts be?
I think I would have similar thoughts. I think I would be maybe not as much in sort of the oh my god the sky is falling, but I definitely would be. It would definitely still be frustrating because except for Rodriguez and Uvalde, you still would have the same sort of street gang from Brookline Ave out there in the back end of your pitching staff that you do right now. And I think the prospects for this team would not be much better than they are, right now, because you still would have those same issues. Even if you had Rodriguez, I mean, yeah, that's maybe one extra win every 5 days. But
he's coming back, by the way.
We hope.
This is not this kind of thing goes away after time. I just don't know. They don't know how much time.
Yeah, here's my problem with that.
It may be,
yes, he is going to come back.
Yes.
I mean, I hope he comes back. And honestly, I'm more concerned about his health than him getting back on the mound. I mean, obviously, I think that goes without saying. But my thing is, if he comes back, what kind of pitcher is he going to be? I mean, is he going to be?
He's got to get back in game shape.
He's got to get back in game shape, but also just his ability. I don't know. With this, just sort of with the remnants, I should say, of the virus still inside him. I just don't know if he's going to be the same be able to be the same capable pitcher that he was, say like last year and stuff like that. Because obviously I would hope he would be, but just with what he's got going on, I just worry about that, stamina-wise and just all these different things. You just don't know what kind of impact it's going to have. So I hate to say it, but I would trust him, especially right out of the gate coming back, I would trust him less to go out there and be, the effective dominant pitcher that we know he can be, than if it was just a normal season, he was going, right from the get-go, normal E-Rod. So I think that's something you got to look out for. In all seriousness, you got to look out for once the season restarts. Once he restarts this season.
Right. But they won't. They're going to be really careful with him too, because this has to do with his heart. So he's going to.
This is like, I mean, Doug. This is beyond baseball. This is life and
no, of course,
death,
no. And I'm not expecting him to come back at all, as far as I'm concerned. And if he doesn't, then that's his health is more important than a game.
Yeah.
So I totally understand that, and that's not my point. My point is that they're going to be extra careful because they think this might be COVID related, and if it is COVID related, then they're going to be extra careful with him in coming back. They have to get him in game shape again, and they won't bring him out if he gets tired after, throwing a bullpen session that lasts an inning.
Right.
They won't let him come back if that kind of thing happens. So I think because of that, because of COVID and everything that's going on in the world, I think they're going to be extra careful with how they bring him back and the time that they have to bring him back. It is not even a question. I mean, obviously his health is more important than anything in the world. So it's one of those things where, I think that they won't bring him back unless they know that he is ready to go and that he feels good and that he doesn't have the kind of any symptoms of the heart issue or any symptoms of COVID. So, and you're right, he may not come back. So they have to be prepared for that, and they have to be prepared to be able to, take somebody off the street from Longwood Ave and be able to, bring that person, even a guy that was playing the drums or, some guy that just kind of randomly walks out of the hospital. He's
just walking out of Kenmore Station, he's
got scrubs on. Walks out of the BI with scrubs on, and he looks healthy and he looks like he could pitch. Tall guy, long arms. Those kinds of things. That would be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're not being that picky right now. So
We're obviously not,
yeah,
because I don't know half of the people on the
yeah,
staff,
no,
so they're
no,
not being picky.
not at all. Um, Speaking of COVID, obviously one of the big stories of this MLB restart so far has been the outbreak of COVID-19 on the Florida Marlins. And obviously, their season has been put on pause for at least a week or two. The Phillies had a couple positive tests today because they were the Marlins' sort of first opponent there. So their season is off at least through the weekend and into next week.
Yeah, I think they were canceling games Monday and Tuesday too.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, so I guess my question is, and this is sort of a broader question than just those two teams, is as we sit here right now, again, it is, if you go by the Red Sox schedule, it is now into the sixth game of this 2020 season, out of the 60-game 2020 season. Does the MLB, protocol-wise and just all these different factors-wise, have what it takes to make it through this full season? And do you, again, personal opinion here, do you think that they will ultimately make it through the 60-game season, or is the season doomed for another early exit, kind of like back in March, but obviously a little bit different here. But like I said, is the MLB season doomed, or can they still maybe eke out a 60-game season?
You're asking me. Oh,
I'm asking you.
Asking me. Well, I think
Unless there's somebody else here that I should
the
know
first.
about.
I don't see anybody.
Okay, me neither.
Okay, so I'm going to, now that we kind of know what they're doing, MLB, NBA, NHL, NFL. We don't really know what the NFL is doing yet. We have some faint ideas, but they're still working on their stuff.
Yeah.
But NBA and NHL are doing it the right way.
Yeah,
they're doing it the right way because they're in a bubble.
Look at MLS. Look at MLS, the season that's just finishing up now. They were in a bubble too. Guess what? It has worked out. It couldn't have worked out better for them.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I know that. If everybody follows what the protocols are and not goes out of the bubble, then they will be able to have a successful season on that. But we're going to talk about NBA and NHL a little bit later.
Of course.
But I think when it comes down to it, I think that it's going to be very, very difficult. And this is just my opinion. I think it's going to be difficult because teams are going to come down with it. And so this is something that was posed today. What happens if you have an ace pitcher? And I'm just talking broad. I'm not talking our team, Red Sox versus any other team. Just talking a broad thing. You have an ace pitcher, and 2 days, Broad Boy too, right? I wrote Broad Boy before, and he wrote Broad Boy too.
He also wrote as a 2020, which, yes, we could confirm that it is 2020.
Well, he mentioned it was 2020, and it's like, yeah. So I think the point that I'm trying to make is that there were some situations where, even Pasternak left the bubble. He did stuff he wasn't supposed to.
Well, yeah, he did do stuff he wasn't supposed to. But I just have to clarify that when they were in Boston, when this Pasternak thing happened, we'll get to the Bruins in a minute here. When they were not in a bubble in Boston.
No, they weren't.
They were not in a bubble in Boston.
They were not. But Pasternak, I had some inside information last week. Remember?
I know.
My inside information was what?
That he was in quarantine, because apparently he had to go back in extra quarantine because he practiced with a team. He practiced in Malden at like a public rink or something like that.
He was out doing stuff he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I had mentioned. Because
I know. I agree with you. I agree with
But
you
I think
there.
when it comes, when it comes to MLB, I think so. So the thing I had is that your pitcher tests negative. And he's supposed to pitch on Saturday. He tests negative on Thursday, but tests positive on Friday. Now he has to have 3 negative tests to be able to not be in quarantine.
Right.
Got now 1 positive test. Now they have to test him again. That test, if it's not a quick test, can take up to 24 hours. What do you do?
Oh, he's not pitching on Saturday.
No,
Once he tests positive on Friday, he's not pitching on Saturday.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. And how are you? So you're supposed to replace that ace, then you could lose the game. So the issue is whether I think that MLB will continue. I think they're going to continue as far as they can get until they have a massive outbreak, which I think is going to happen. Because I don't think everybody's following the rules, especially the young guys. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I just the way, and we touched upon the Marlins. How many? 14 people.
Yeah.
14 players.
Yeah.
Plus, actually, there were 14 players. I think 12 players, and I think 2 coaches.
Yeah.
Got the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And then they didn't know that and played games with other teams.
I know.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. If you're not in the bubble, the NHL, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Bruins in a little bit. NHL, they are in a bubble right now.
Yeah.
They have 100% negative testing right now in NHL. That means every single person, that's 4,000 plus people, 4,000 plus players, coaches, trainers, puck boys. I don't know. I just said that to it sounded funny. Everybody that has to do with the NHL and that has tested, and it's over 4,000 people tested negative.
Yeah.
They're in the bubble right now.
NBA, same thing. NBA, same thing.
That's correct. They are in the bubble right now. The thing with MLB is that they're not in a bubble.
Yeah.
So do I think the MLB season will go? I think it will go as far as it will go, but I think there's going to be an outbreak when there's going to be 2 or 3 teams. I'm not saying the Red Sox, but I think there's going to be 2 or 3 teams that will probably get infected. And then what they're going to do is they're going to pause them. They're going to shut them down. But if you shut those teams down, that's going to affect every other team that they're supposed to play.
Yeah.
They just shut the Yankees down, but the Yankees are playing, the Orioles this weekend or something like that?
Yeah.
They have to go to the next stage of the schedule, and that's going to screw everything up. I don't know how they're going to do this, Rob.
The competitive balance is already getting thrown off just by one or 2 teams.
Absolutely. I don't know how they're going to do that. So what happens if 7 Yankees test positive and they just played the Orioles? Now, the Orioles have to get tested for 3 days, but they're supposed to play the Angels or whatever. Or they just played the Angels. Now the Angels have to be tested. It's like this crazy kind of wacky kind of system that is just – or the Angels don't play this year. Well, okay, there you go. Again, I was just bringing up 2 teams. And that's all I was doing. As you can tell, I don't follow baseball as much as the other sports.
Well, that's what I was kind of gonna. That was gonna be my follow-up question. Is that if MLB at some point down the line has to shut their season down? Let's just say multiple teams become infected. They have to shut it down, like the other sports did back in March. Are you, Doug? And I'll ask.
Yes, I am Doug.
Very funny.
I am Doug.
No,
this is me, Doug. You're Robbie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, we got that.
All right, we're good. We're good.
Okay, and the Orioles are playing the Angels this year. You just don't know it.
Would would you be, I guess, would you be bothered, or would it be a big deal to you if MLB ends up shutting their season down and cannot complete the full season?
I think kind of right up front, my first thought is that I'm not the first thing I have to say is that I'm not going to be upset about it, because they're doing it for health reasons. They're doing it to keep the MLB players, coaches, umpires, balls boy. They're keeping them safe, and they need to do it because they're keeping it safe. I don't think Manfred's going to shut down if he's only going to shut down if it starts affecting, like, 5 to 7 teams. If it only affects a couple teams, he's going to just keep moving the schedule around, and the schedule is probably going to quit. But other than that, it's just like, I wouldn't want to be the scheduler. What do you mean the Yankees are playing the Orioles? What kind of crap is this now? I got to change the whole freaking schedule. This is crazy. What are you talking about? I mean, he's just going to go nuts.
You see the schedule wandering down 95 somewhere.
Schedule is going to be like going like just like kill me now, man. I mean, okay, all right. So the Yankees are playing the Orioles, and so we have over here the national. Oh no, the Phillies. They're involved too. How am I supposed to put the Phillies done too? What's going? I mean, he's going to go nuts. I'm not really sure who I'm looking at over there, but it's kind of funny. But I think what I'm saying is that, number one, I'm not going to feel sad about it. I'm talking to no one. I am, however, going to be sad because we want sports. It doesn't matter what it is. And baseball's not up here for me. Baseball's not my top sport. I'm not going to be real sad about it. But on the flip side of it, I do like baseball. I like to watch baseball every once in a while, especially if they're playing the Yankees or playing one of the really good teams out there. Of course I want to watch. Even if it's a 12-hour game that happens with the Yankees typically. I know.
No, you're right. You're right.
Exaggeration point. But
right.
I'm not going to be sad because of the fact that they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it because they have to. I don't know, and again, I'm going to say it again. I don't know how this is going to work.
Yeah.
How is this going to work if they keep – okay, so the Yankees are playing the Orioles. Now, the Yankees were tested, right?
Yeah.
Or were they? Were they just moving on because they had – see, the issue with COVID is that you could have 3 negative tests and it doesn't come up on Thursday. And Friday you could have it. This is the issue with this disease. It's nasty that way. And that's the issue. And that's why NBA and NHL decided to get together and let's get these guys in a bubble. Let's play in the bubble. They're playing up in Toronto tonight. That's where they're going to play. They're not playing anywhere else.
Yeah.
Teams are there. They're going to play there. And then the other, that's the
that's why, and you bring
Conference, Western Conference is in Edmonton, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it is. That's it.
And you bring up an excellent point because, people have been.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
No, but people have been jumping all over the Canadian government for not allowing the Blue Jays to play in Toronto. Like, well, you have all these NHL teams up here. Why are they allowed to be up here, but the Blue Jays can't play their home games here? It's two completely different things. The NHL teams are coming up there, and they are staying there. They are staying in their bubble. They're not traveling. The Blue Jays, first of all, would be traveling to the United States and then back, which is a problem. And then you've got U.S. teams coming from the U.S., like the Miami Marlins, coming to Canada. This is
their thought process.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense when you think about it that way. Just because jumping all over for the Canadian government. Put your listening ears on there, buddy. What?
Hey.
Now? But yeah, it's two different things. You can't make the argument just because they're allowing one means that they should allow another, because it's two different sort of set of circumstances.
Robbie, Canada doesn't want the Blue Jays up there because they know that this is going to be a crapshoot. They understand that this is going to, they've already proved it. The Marlins, 14 people. They don't want 14 people that are infected. They don't want the Marlins go, just like you said, they want the Marlins going up and playing in Canada and then affecting all of Canada. They just don't want that to happen. They're trying to get rid of the thing, not bring it back.
Canada gets wiped out by the Florida Marlins.
Right, Florida Marlins beat Canada.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to make light of it, but just the
it was like infinity to nothing. I mean, it just makes sense. It totally makes perfect sense. They don't want him up there because they don't want to have to deal with what MLB is about to deal with, and I think that they're going to deal with it. And I know Manfred doesn't want to stop the season. I know he doesn't want to do that, but I'm telling you right now, I just think, and I'm hoping I'm wrong. I just think that it's going to be a crapshoot, and it's going to be one of those things where people are, I just think more and more teams are going to start getting it, and they're going to pass it on to other teams before they even know that they're doing it. And let me ask you a question here, Robbie. They're spending millions and millions of dollars on tests. The tests that are the quickest tests are not the tests that they're using. They're using some of those, but they don't have all those tests are not like 4 hour, okay, I find out in 4 hours. This is a 24-hour turnover, sometimes even longer than that.
Right, exactly.
So now they're going to have to cancel games or postpone games. Okay, postpone here, postpone there, postpone here, postpone there. When are they going to play these games?
Well, it could be a lot of double
December?
Apparently.
December? Where are they going to play them? I just in a dome? I mean,
why? I mean, playing December baseball game in Fenway would be lovely. I mean, what are you talking about?
I get it.
I to your point, I don't know honestly what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to be able to finish this season. I honestly don't. I'm very skeptical about it at this point. I hope I'm wrong as well, but honestly, especially given the way the Red Sox season started, I don't know that I would be all that heartbroken if they don't end up finishing the season, especially with MLB, with NBA and NHL coming back and things like that. Obviously, you want the health to be the first and foremost. So, I can't say honestly that I would be overly disappointed if the season ultimately does not end up finishing. I mean, I love it. You
even said to me, Robbie, you even said to me in a text, it was the beginning of the week when they first started. You said, I think it was the second and then the third game. The third game they lost. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Orioles. You said, I think it was right after that game or that night, you said, I cannot wait until until NBA and NHL come back. And I was like, what? I had to look at that text again because I was like, Robbie just didn't say that, did he? Because like
the Sox
Robbie's
do
like
suck.
an MLB
the Sox do suck. The Sox do suck. I freely admit that. And I know,
and that's what he said in the text too.
And I am one of the biggest optimists out there. I'm one of the biggest, sort of pom-pom wavers out there. But at the same time, I know. Jump all over that one. There's one for your bulletin board. I really am. But exactly, pom-pom waver. But at the same time, right now, I just look at this team realistically.
Give me an R. Give me an O. Give me a B. Give me a B. Give me an I. Give me an E. Anyway, that's your pom-pom waiver.
Anyway. It's not good right now. No problem.
Robbie's about to be devastated. I can tell.
I don't know what I'm going to be. But anyway, speaking of leagues and teams that are currently in a bubble, I figure this would be a perfect time to transition over to a team that is currently playing an exhibition game right now. That is the Boston Bruins, who are playing their exhibition game of the NHL restart tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets and are currently losing, I think it's 4-0 at this point, last time I checked. And they open up their regular season on Sunday, or not their regular season, their Stanley Cup seeding. I don't even know what they're calling this portion of it. The round robin, basically, is what it is. They open up against the round robin against Philadelphia, a great team to open up against on Sunday. And one of the players that will be in the lineup, Robin Hood. Robin Hood is playing for the Bruins, and yeah, exactly. Anyway, one of the players that is with the team and is, in the lineup for tonight's exhibition game and going forward is someone that we just talked about, David Pastrnak, who, as we said, it was discovered that he had to go into a little bit of a additional quarantine for sort of stepping outside of the rules there during the return to training camp. And so, but he is back with the team. He made the trip to Toronto on time. He's in the lineup tonight. And I guess the question is, first of all, I mean, it's big to have him because obviously, especially the way he was playing, before the shutdown. But I guess my question is, Doug, was there any doubt at any point in your mind during these past couple of weeks that Pastrnak would not be with the team once things started up here in Toronto?
Yeah, I think there was a possibility just because we didn't know exactly kind of what was going on. He has also been known to go out drinking and trip over himself and hurt himself, even break something here and there. So you never know with him, and I think he kind of learned a lesson with this. Clumsy pasta recipe. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know. I do have some inside information from somebody from my work. I haven't talked to him recently, but did have some inside information about what he did. We're keeping you up there, Robbie.
Always.
Jeepers. Didn't get it. It's not radio, Robbie. I mean, it is and it's not. It's video. Remember that.
If you're listening on SoundCloud right now, we could just throw a gun right
listening on
that.
SoundCloud, Robbie just yawned. Wonderful. He is incisors. Okay, so yeah, it was. You never know with these young guys. I guess it's one of those things where, when they said he wasn't really ready, he wasn't ready to practice. It kind of seemed like that he had done something that was not the right thing to do, and that he had put him into quarantine. Him and Kasha. Kasha's still not with the team, and I don't really know why. That's a little bit more concerning to me than the pasta thing.
Yeah.
Is whether he has actual symptoms as opposed to pasta that didn't have any symptoms that I know of, that we know of. But yeah, it was a little bit. The thought process is that he screwed up, and I am glad that he's with the team. I think he did learn a lesson, and I think he probably got his ass reamed, and by his his coach, and I'm just glad he's with the team now because he's a very important piece.
Absolutely. I mean, if the Bruins are going to make a run here over these next couple of months, David Pastrnak is without a doubt going to be a big part of that, and it is very good that he is with the team and is playing and everything seems to be okay. Okay. Doug just typed, I haven't run in my pasta. I don't know what that means. I don't know.
Well, you said they were going to go if they're going for a run. I put the run and the pasta together. Why did I explain this to you?
I don't know. Yeah.
Because it's weird. It says I have a run in my pasta. So.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, and speaking of the upcoming
Sure.
NHL restart, like I said, the Stanley Cup playoffs and qualifiers and
Are they
all
tomorrow?
that are
Stanley Cup playoffs
starting
tomorrow?
up this weekend. I forget. I'm actually looking up right now because I forget the exact day that it officially starts. So,
Saturday.
is it Saturday?
Yes, and you
Yep,
know where I got that from?
Saturday. Where did you
I
get
got
that
that
from?
I got that from one of the biggest Bruins fans out there, and it came from my kitchen.
Yeah, Saturday is the first day
Heard it from the kitchen.
of the East qualifying games, which is, I believe, best of 5. Those series are best of 5, and then the remainder of the series are a best of 7. The Bruins, as I said, opening up Sunday at 3:00 from Toronto against the Flyers in the round robins, or
Philadelphia.
to determine the top 4 seeds. And so I guess the question that I have, Doug, is now that the actual the actual games that really mean something are right upon us, less than 72 hours away here. Actually, in some cases, less than 48 hours away here. What are your sort of final thoughts on the upcoming restart here for the Bruins, and and on sort of a add on to that, what teams concern you more than others, whether it be through this round robin, the other 3 teams in the round robin, or even down the road once they get into the best of 7 series, when actually the playoffs start for real, so to speak.
Yeah, I think the I think it's going to be kind of strange, just because not really used to playoff games. So the playoff games is not that's not the issue. Is the round robin thing is kind of throwing me off a little bit. I'm a pretty big
And yes,
hockey fan.
those final thoughts are later, Doug. These are different final thoughts.
I was wondering when you're going to see that. Just testing you, Robbie. Make sure you're on your toes. Okay. So my thoughts are.
Wait, hold on. I can't really say. Yeah, I can't really.
Literally on his toes now.
I was trying to see if I could do that, but my camera wouldn't go down far enough. But
I know you haven't had ballet classes for a while, so what I think what it comes down to is that I think that just the word round robin kind of throws me off a little bit. But I understand where they're at, where they are, and I think the hockey's going to be very exciting. I really do. I watched some of the game tonight. I was not happy with what they were doing, but because they are the only issue I have is that I think they're going to be a little bit rusty, and I think they're going to be a lot rusty.
I think, if tonight is any indication, they certainly have come out of the gate a bit rusty.
Yeah, definitely.
That's for sure.
And it didn't look like Rask was seeing the puck at all. I mean,
Rask was struggling.
There were shots there that Rask has gotten before and that has gotten there and no problem. And I don't know whether it's rust, whether he's just, and the defense wasn't really that great either. And they're really not, they're really not playing. But that's a little concerning to me. And it's concerning because if they're not together as a team and they're not, kind of moving in the right direction as a team, and they're really, really rusty. I'm not sure what, Saturday is literally
Sunday. They play Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday, yes. Sunday, but still, it's not a lot of time from now.
Less than 72 hours. It's less than 72 hours till that game.
Not a ton of time to get the rust off. So that does concern me a little bit. I wish they had, I don't know, maybe a little bit more time. But I understand why they're doing it. I mean, you never see hockey in July, and that's really kind of cool for me.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. But
You rarely see during the summer 3 major sports going on at one time.
yeah, you just don't see that. So it is concerning. It is a concerning factor. But I think it'll be fine. I think it'll go well. But again, I am concerned about the way they play tonight.
Same.
The way they're playing tonight. I'm assuming they're still
Yeah, no, they're still on. Every time I go over to Nesson here, the game is on. The game is on a commercial. I don't know, but yeah, no, it's true. I'm very excited about it. For without a doubt, I'm excited. Just like with basketball and baseball, to have hockey back is great. I'm very excited to see what kind of run the Bruins can make, given, obviously how they were performing, 4 months ago before everything shut down. Hopefully they can sort of recapture that magic at some point here. Hopefully right out of the gate, but if not, very quickly into things once they get, some game action under their belt. I think for me, obviously, like I said, so my part 2 question was, what teams concern more than others. I think right off the bat, the Capitals and Lightning always have to concern because they are 2 of the top teams. Oh, it's not. Oh, they must have disallowed a goal from Columbus because it's actually 3-1 Columbus right now. So anyway, I think that what am I trying to say here? Oh, yeah, Capitals and the Lightning, I think, are going to be the 2 teams that I think give the biggest concern. Yes, the comeback. Yeah, I know. Just like I'm the comeback kid, really. I'm coming. I will come back. I promise. But I kind of have to see how this first round of sort of the first round of the qualifiers, again, these qualifying series that they're playing, go and sort of see what teams are left. Once it gets to the point where the Bruins and those other 3 teams sort of go actually into the bracket and sort of see those matchups to get a better idea of what potential matchups could really be concerning there. But I think right off the bat, like I said, the Caps and the Lightning, it's going to be a challenge. Those are 2 teams that the Bruins had some struggles with during the season up until March, and so believe me, I'd like to think and hope that the Bruins can win all 3 games, get the number 1 seed, and go from there. But I think it's going to be. I think every single game is going to be a battle. I think that's what's going to make it really exciting. Is just live hockey being back with every single team. I think just getting after every single night because every game truly does mean something. You get those games, later on in the true regular season, on a normal year where teams are sort of sewing up their spots and stuff like that, and they're now really sort of giving it their all and not resting some guys. But you're not going to have that here because you basically go from 3 games to decide the number 1 overall, the number 1 through the number 4 seed into real life playoff games. And so I think all those factors is going to make this hockey restart just extremely exciting to watch, and I can't wait for Sunday. I think it's going to be great. I think it's great. We're starting off against Philly. I mean, who better to start off with than a pretty big rival, in their own rights, Bruins Flyers. I think that's going to be awesome.
I'll be not watching it, but I will be, kind of checking back and forth on my phone because it is my daughter's birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday in advance to Alana,
Yes, absolutely. And
who,
so
by the way,
we're
made a special guest appearance on our last episode,
she did. Did.
along with your wife Deb. So
Yep.
shout out to the Zyman women.
That's right. That's who was shouting to me in the kitchen about the Saturday thing. So
yeah,
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 definitely. But yeah, I just think it's going to be. I think the hockey's going to be exciting. I really do. I think
yeah,
no matter what team, and of course, in Boston, we're Bruins fans, of course. But I think just the hockey itself is going to be very exciting
it's
in
gonna be
itself.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. No, absolutely, and I can't wait. And I also can't wait for the other Boston quote unquote winter team that is coming back here in the middle of the summer, and that is the Boston Celtics, who have had played a couple of scrimmages themselves. I know I was talking about the fact that I was watching the one against Houston the other night before they begin things for actually tomorrow night against the Milwaukee Bucks, which what a way to start off against Giannis and the
Well,
Bucks, who are definitely the top dogs in the Eastern Conference, or at least they
Bucks have
were
a
going
couple
into the
players that's out that are out though, so we might have.
but Giannis is not out.
I know,
Giannis is not out, and as long
I
as Giannis
know,
is there,
I know.
it's gonna be tough. But I guess the first question I wanted to ask Doug is how much of these, how much is sort of preseason to the season restart games, these scrimmages as they've been called from the bubble in Orlando. How much, if any, have you watched, and any sort of thoughts on those, or thoughts just leading into to tomorrow's first game that counts?
I actually watched their first scrimmage, and unfortunately, the team that they played is escaping me at this time.
Wasn't it Oklahoma City?
Oklahoma was it Oklahoma City? I said
I thought it was. Hold on. You keep
they
talking. I'm
played.
gonna
They
do some
played how
extra
many
over.
scrimmages have they played
I
before
thought.
they played Houston?
I think
Was there
they
another
played.
team?
I think that was that first one.
Oklahoma City was the
Was the
first one.
newest one, and then Houston. I think.
Okay, and then they're okay. I got you.
No,
Yes,
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
there's another one in
I am
between.
missing one. Phoenix. They beat Phoenix.
That's the game I saw.
Okay, got it. Perfect.
That's the game I saw. I knew
Got
there
it.
was one in between. I
Yeah,
just
no,
couldn't
you're right.
remember. It was
You're
a
right.
Western team, and I couldn't remember what the name was. And
Well, all
not that
three
I'm
were
getting older.
Western teams.
Thank you. Thank you for correcting me on that. So I think what it comes down to is that I did see I didn't see the whole game. I saw most of it. And they actually look good. They actually look really good. I didn't, unfortunately. I know Kemba. I'm not sure if he started because I didn't see the beginning of the game, but I
I
did
know he
not see
started
him.
against Houston. I think he played a bit during. Yeah, you're
He
right. During that
played a
Phoenix.
bit during the Phoenix game, but not a lot. But they're all the reports they're saying that his knee is fine and that it's actually stronger than it was in September. So they're saying that it's good and that he's ready to go, but they're gonna put him in slowly, which is fine. But they look pretty good actually, and I'll be able to get a better sense of how they're doing as they start the season off. And this is
Right.
a good I know it kind of sucks maybe to play the Bucks when you first start, but the fact is that I think it's going to be a good test of how they really are. There are guys that are stepping up in a big way.
Yeah.
Robert Williams being one of them has really, really stepped up. And you want some of these guys to start stepping up and being part of being being part of what they're trying to achieve, as opposed to let's just play the regulars and keep them out there and that kind of stuff. So I think they're really I think they're starting to play as a team. let me tell you this much: they look better than the Bruins do. So, and that's just they seem to be gelling a lot better than some of the other teams, and especially the Bruins. So I think they were probably you could tell me better, but I did not unfortunately see the Houston game. Did they play? I mean, did they
It
seem like they were
was
rusty in
it
that
was
game? Or
a little bit. I mean, it was interesting because they started off pretty well in that game, and Houston kind of took over sort of midway through the game, and then ended up pulling away for the victory. I gotta be honest, I did not see the whole Houston game. I saw sort of bits and pieces because I was flipping back and forth with the Red Sox. I don't know why I kept going back to the Red Sox. I guess I'm a glutton for punishment
hope,
or something. I don't know.
hope.
Yeah, they maybe hope. Yeah, let's call it that. Let's call it hope. But yeah, I think that yeah, exactly. Capital H, all caps hope as well. Um, I think the thing that's going to be very interesting for me to see with the Celtics team is someone you just talked about. That's Kemba. Obviously, he is going to be on a minutes restriction. Brad has said during these seeding games, these 8 seeding games that they're going to play starting tomorrow night. I think that may not be the worst thing because I think I think when you really want Kemba to be sort of going full strength, obviously for the true playoff games, obviously you want him going all the time. But if you're gonna have to sort of pick and choose, I'd rather they do it now than have to do something, like I said, come the come the playoff games.
Yeah, but Marcus Smart has been playing off the hook. He's
Yeah,
been playing really well. So
I think Marcus Smart. I think
what it is.
when Kemba isn't in there, I think you've got Marcus Smart. You've got, I mean, obviously Tatum and Brown and those guys who were playing so well prior to prior to the shutdown. One guy that I've heard being talked about, and sometimes it's hard to distinguish whether or not he's being talked about for his actual basketball skills or his political activism, is Enes Kanter. He's been getting a lot of buzz. Now, obviously, part of that is, like I said, due to his political activism there. But definitely. I mean, if you could get some production out of him, especially down low, that could definitely help. I feel like the Celtics' chances is not walking through that door. Well, he is, but he's probably more like ducking through that door.
He's on the team, man. He's in the bubble.
I know.
Now I want to ask a question, a really very, very serious question.
Of course.
I want to know, does Taco have to duck every time he goes in? Like, he's in the bubble. Does he have to duck all the time when he's in?
Yeah, I'd be curious to see his room.
Because he's 7'6", so I don't really know what
those are low ceilings there, man. Those are low ceilings there.
I don't know how big the bubble is, so he might have to duck all the time. That could hurt his neck, so I'm hoping that everything's all right with that.
Hopefully he's able to sort of stretch it out at times. Find maybe a hole in the roof to sort of go up and stretch his neck out. But yeah, it's Taco.
It should be interesting to see, Robbie, the Kanter versus Robert Williams, Enes Kanter versus Robert Williams, and see. I know they're going to work together because obviously they're going to do that, but to see who starts, who doesn't start, who's the backup, and to see what's going on, because I'll tell you, the Phoenix game that I saw, Robert Williams did a really great job.
Williams has been impressive.
I was like,
Williams
where did he come from?
Williams has been impressive. Like, even this year, just in general, he has started to come along. From his rookie year to his second year. That is for sure. I think it's just it's going to be very interesting to see. I think it's hard, to kind of judge because they've been off for so long. Until they actually get back into the games that mean something for real. I'm just very excited to see to see how they're able to do again, especially against the Bucks. Because I think that's a very early test right out of the gate. I mean, you want to talk about just what a schedule to be matched up with the Bucks. First game after 4 months of not playing live basketball. Yes, test 1, 2, 3. But I think that I think Kemba's production is going to be a big factor for this team. I think so for sure. But again, you have all these guys around him like Tatum, like Brown. I mean, if they can sort of play together and play as a cohesive unit like they've been capable of doing, I don't see any reason why this team shouldn't be able to compete with / beat any other team in that bubble. I mean, especially in the East. I mean, I understand, and that's the thing is like all these teams are kind of in the same boat. They've all been off for 4 months. They're all sort of getting their legs back from under them. So if the Celtics can kind of come out strong and get off to a hot start, they can, they can, send some messages to people, and all. So, like I said, I think, tomorrow night, I think after tomorrow night, yes, yes, they're getting their legs back. I'm not going to touch that one. I'm not going to cut into that one. Terrible pun attempt right there. And I
Did they get their legs when they got into the bubble, or did they get them before they? Oh, they must get them before because they have to walk in the bubble. So they must have got them before.
Yeah, I guess.
So I'm gonna tell you this right up front, Robbie. I'm gonna tell you this right up front. If Kemba Walker is hurt, we're gonna win anything. We need Kemba Walker to win. That's what we need. We need Kemba Walker to be able to get any further, any way into the playoffs, win anything in the playoffs. We need Kemba Walker to be okay. If he's not okay, we're done, as far as I'm concerned. We just can't. There's no way we can win without him. That's just my personal opinion.
No. I agree with you. It's going to be very tough to see, if he's not in there or if he's not up to the level that, we expect him to be. It's going to be very tough, I feel like, for this team, especially against the Milwaukees, the Philadelphias, the upper echelon teams in the East to get the job done. And I think you definitely need him going full strength and doing what he's capable of, even if it's in limited minutes. I think when he's in there, he needs to be going sort of full tilt here, and I hope that he does, and I hope that everybody else, sort of the supporting cast around him can also fill their roles. And like I said, I think we're going to know a lot more after, not necessarily just after tomorrow, but after the first couple of games of the restart. I think we're going to know a lot more about this team and about what to expect for these next couple of months once we sort of see them when they get back into truly the environment of, okay, these games are for real, and we gotta sort of put our real sort of rotations in, and so I think it'll be very interesting to see what comes out of it, especially these first couple of games. I did want to point out one thing that I think was kind of funny and ironic. I don't know what words you wanted to describe it, but as I said, the NBA restart officially kicked off tonight, and the first game that was going on was Utah versus Oklahoma City. Versus not Oklahoma City, versus New Orleans, excuse me. And if everybody remembers, 4 months ago, the reason why the NBA shut down their season back in March was because Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz was the first NBA player that tested positive for COVID, and he kind of was maybe not being the most careful in the days leading up to it, and then it turned out he infected at least one of his teammates.
They played the Celtics, and only Marcus Smart was the one who got it, but he didn't.
But the ironic thing was that in the first game, the first NBA game that counted back from the COVID shutdown, who was the player that got the first 2 points of the game? Rudy Gobert. So I just thought that was kind of interesting how the guy whose positive test led to the shutdown 4 months ago is the same guy who gets the first basket of the NBA restart. So I just thought that was kind of ironic, I think is the best term to describe that. So I just want to kind of throw that out there. Same guy, go Rudy. Yeah. Different Rudy, but still.
Yeah. Rudiger.
Yeah.
Totally different sport.
Totally different sport, totally different level.
Yeah.
But still
great movie. Go see it.
Any more thoughts on the Celtics or the NBA restart before we sort of make our transition here to the next subject? Anything else on the NBA?
I'm just excited that the NBA's back, and I think I think it's going to be exciting to see play again, and I think it's going to be exciting to see how the Celtics kind of react to what has happened, and how they can sustain kind of what they started, and see how far they can go. And it should be interesting to see about Kemba. It should be interesting to see, how they can come together.
Yeah,
that's really what it comes down to.
I agree. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna, regardless of what happens, definitely. It's gonna be fun to watch, just like with hockey.
Oh yeah.
So now the last sort of sport that we want to touch on is obviously a sport that is not in play at the moment, and that is the NFL.
And Bucks.
What?
Nothing. Wait, I'm going to write what I said.
No, I know what you said, and I hate it. Oh, wait. Oh, those Bucks.
Oh, you thought I meant Milwaukee.
Yeah. I was like,
Milwaukee.
I was like, whoa.
I'm not a Milwaukee Bucks fan. I am a Giannis fan. I love Giannis.
Way to flip from a hero to a heel in like 5 seconds.
You flipped to the other sport, so I was going with that.
No, I know. I just, like I said, I was still coming off
a basketball man.
Mode. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you now. But it's interesting because, like, when we first started planning this episode, just, back at the beginning of the week, we really didn't have a whole lot of football material that we were going to touch on here. But then, I think literally the day after I wrote out sort of our outline for this episode, 6 Patriots have now.
Hey, Robbie, I'm sorry. I just got to tell you this right now. I'm actually, I'm sorry, but I really have to opt out.
Oh boy! All right, so Doug, breaking news. Doug, the sports guy Zyman has opted out of the episode 48 of the Sports Blitz. Oh, he's back. He's pulling a Nick Markakis.
I am back. Yes, I'm back. I thought it was really important to continue the Sports Blitz because that was really important. I decided that.
Now, as I was saying,
like Slater,
players who there are now multiple important Patriots who will not be continuing the build-up to the 2020 season and will not be participating in the 2020 season, and that is, of course, Patrick Chung and Dante Hightower, who both, like I said,
There are
were
6
part
Patriots,
of,
though.
we're
Yes.
we're 2 of the 6 Patriots, and also Marcus Cannon as well. We're half of the 6 Patriots to announce that they are opting out of the 2020 season. So I guess just, Doug, let me ask you simply, what is your reaction to these decisions? And, we'll sort of get into how that impacts the Patriots or the NFL as a whole when it comes to this issue momentarily here. But first off, just sort of your initial reaction to that news of, 6 guys and those 3 guys in particular opting out for this upcoming season.
Well, my first reaction was, holy crap.
Yeah.
That was really my first reaction, if you really want to know the truth, finding out about these players. But then finding out why they're doing it, I said, you know what? Makes sense. Especially Dante Hightower. Dante Hightower just has a new baby. That's the first thing. Yes, family first. Absolutely. He also has a mother that has diabetes. And I can understand why family is important and why family to him is important in the game. There have been talk in the last 24 hours whether he's actually going to be a Patriot ever again.
Wow.
And Patrick
hadn't
Chung,
heard
the same
that.
thing. Well, just not because he's going to be out forever because he's scared of COVID, but just because of, where his contract is, where the factors are, and, whether he's going to be able to, come back to this next year. And when you take a year off, what happens? I mean, take a year off, what happens to your body?
Right.
It's different. When you come back, it's totally different. You could be off for a whole year after you come back. So, it's just one of those things where I think it was shocking at first until you heard why, until you understand, why guys are doing it. Some of it's fear, some of it's injury, some of it's because they or there are other people in their family that have underlying issues, or they just had a baby. Those are the issues that I think are above the game, and I guess I want them to play, but on the flip side of it, I understand.
Yeah.
I get it, and maybe I don't get it up to their level, but I do get it. Am I happy about it? Not really, because it seems like the Patriots are falling apart. Brady leaves, and all of a sudden,
as a fan, I think it's described perfectly as a fan, you're disappointed that they're not playing, but as a human being, you understand or are supportive of the
absolutely.
fact that they are making the decision to put their family and their health first. And I can never fault a guy for taking that particular step.
I mean, for instance, a perfect example is David Andrews. David Andrews is opting in. He says he's playing. Now, he had blood clots last year. He was out for the whole year. And that, as far as I'm concerned, is a pre-existing situation.
Right.
He has been cleared to play. He's fine. He doesn't have any clots anymore. But as far as I'm concerned, that is a pre-existing kind of situation. And he's opting in. He wants to play.
Yeah.
So I guess it's one of those situations where everybody has their own feeling on it. Everybody has their own choice.
That's their right. That's absolutely their right to make that
Their right
decision.
to do it. And, we're just, Bill's good. Is it still in Bill we trust? Yeah, I guess. It is. It still is. Until we don't trust them, which is, could be right before the season starts. And this is also, and the good part of it is, it's also a chance for these second stringers or backups. I don't like to call them second stringers, backups, be able to come in and make a stand, make a you know kind of show how they can perform.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
again, it should. I guess I'm taking it more as a experiment, kind of a hey, this is really cool. Let's see what Bill does with this situation. I was probably upset for 24 hours, and I was like, okay, why am I upset about this? Let's see what Bill does. Should be interesting to figure out what Bill has in mind for this.
Yeah.
There are some players that are still out there that are free agents. And by the way, he doesn't have to pay those players that are opting out.
Right.
So he went from virtually
No cap
zero cap to
yeah.
actually having some money to be able to bring some players in
Yeah.
To be able to help out. So we'll have to see what happens with that.
Absolutely. And
I totally understand.
Yeah, no, I definitely do as well. And I think that, this year's Patriots team is going to be very interesting, assuming that they play NFL football in 2020. I think it's going to be very interesting because this Patriots team definitely had a lot of question marks to begin with. I feel like entering the season, and now those have been multiplied with with this latest news. I think that it's still going to be very interesting. The quarterback situation, now some of these defensive positional situations. With sort of the role guys having to sort of step in and fill in for Chung and for Hightower, and up front the offensive line. Other guys going to have to step up. For Cannon and those guys. So I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be interesting. But I think honestly, there are very valid questions. There are some questions about this upcoming NFL season. There are questions about, kind of like with professional baseball, whether or not the NFL is going to be able to have a safe and healthy 2020 season. Again, they are another sport that is not going to be playing any sort of bubble environment. They have definitely been, taking some protocols. Yeah, it's still 2020, Doug.
Just asking.
They definitely have protocols in place that they negotiated out. I know the players were very, that was something that they were sort of all sort of fighting for, was sort of more transparency and protocols for their health and safety entering the season. And so I think I don't know what's going to happen with the NFL season. I think it's tough because like we said, unless they're in a bubble environment, I don't know if there's no real way to completely shut out the virus, especially in some of these states that they're playing in, where there are certainly a rise in cases, and definitely it's a delicate situation there. So I don't know, Doug. Let me ask you, just like, again, sort of the very simple question. Well, what are the chances of there being a full on time, the way things stand right now, a full on time NFL season here in the year 2020?
That's a good question. I think you're right.
I don't know the answer, by the way. I don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer either. I think that they're gonna try to do as many protocols as possible.
Yeah.
The issue with this is the NHL is a very physical sport, and they check and they get close to each other, but they're all negative.
Difference. There's a
huge difference between being in a bubble, all testing negative, versus what the Red Sox are doing right now.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know what they can do because there is tackling involved in this game. I heard they're thinking about going back to the old Rivers day of two-hand touch, maybe flag football. But I'm not really sure if that is going to be something that crowds are going to like that much, or watching on
crowd?
TV.
What crowd? Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, the fake one, the cardboard cutouts that they have there.
By the way, I'm
Um,
watching the Red Sox. I have the Red Sox Mets game on, and the cardboard cutouts in the Mets stadium keep freaking me out, like behind home plate.
they are a little freaky, and
Yeah,
there's actually some that's at Fenway too, and they're
up in the
up
Green
in the
Monster
wall.
seat.
They're up in the Green Monster seats,
But
and
you
it's
don't
kind of
see them unless like a play is going out there. Here, you are literally
right,
confronted with these cardboard cutouts every single pitch.
right. Okay, that's weird. Well, that's New York for you, right?
Yeah,
So
go figure.
for the first time in a really long time, I don't really have an answer to this question, and I know you
No,
don't either. But the I would love for it to start on time. I know that they have been testing the last 24, 48 hours. They are not allowed to go into the clubhouse because they're starting to go into the clubhouse so they can start working out and stuff like that, starting their protocol, what they have to do. Um, I just know that they have to have 3 negative tests to be even walk in the door there.
yeah.
So they're doing that now. I guess Brady's been out in the field. And I guess
Oh, he's ready. Gronk's ready. I mean, there's
that's a
no
negative.
question that those two guys are
The
really,
Bucks also
you
picked
know,
up another guy, running back today. Did you hear?
LaShawn McCoy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So go Bucks. But anyway, I
Not the
think
Milwaukee Bucks, but the
no
Tampa Bay Bucks.
Tampa Bay Bucks. Yeah.
And not the Pittsburgh Pirates either, whose nickname is the Bucks. But
No, I wasn't even thinking about that because I didn't know that. So that's good. Okay. So I think what it comes down to is that I really just don't know. I really just don't know. I'm hoping that they can. That's a lot of bucks. It is. Totally.
yeah.
Um, don't have any clue. I want them to.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about football, but I just don't. I don't know how they're going to do it, Robbie. I just don't know how they're going to do it. I think they're looking at MLB and going, "How the hell are we going to do this?"
If MLB's having these problems, we're gonna have 10 times different problems.
And
There.
MLB doesn't tackle. I mean, they don't need to necessarily get close to one another.
That would be interesting. MLB.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
The only time they tackle is during those.
The 2 Red Sox guys in the outfield, we don't know who they are. We don't them because they got them off the fucking street. Excuse my language.
Whoa!
They got them off the street.
Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, Doug. Again, this is not really a family show. We've already established that.
It's not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Doug just dropping.
It's not like my daughter hasn't heard me swear before. Anyway, I actually said trucking. So they got them off the street without the swear word in there. I'm from California. So I just don't know, man. They're looking at MLB and they're going, "What? How are we going to do this?" I don't know how they're going to do it.
I don't. I honestly don't. I keep trying to think of ways that maybe they could make it happen. But again, and they're obviously not going to do this, especially at this point. But unless you put the league in a bubble situation, I don't see a clear path forward here, and
Right.
that's a scary thought because I mean, yeah, obviously during the fall, the fall is football. I mean, we watching the Pats or this season the Bucks or even college football, all these different things. I mean, it's sort of a rite of fall time, and I just while they're saying that they're going to try to play or they're moving towards playing, it's going to be yes, the fall is football. The football is fall. I don't know. It's just I don't have the answer, and obviously I'm not the one to make the decision. We're not the ones to make the decisions here, but
Wait.
I have a hard.
I got Bill calling me. Hold on. Yeah, Bill, what's up? Bill.
Yeah.
What? You want me to do what? You want me to decide about the football season? No.
Oh boy.
Me? Robbie and I both? Oh, okay, cool. What? No. Okay, we will. I will tell Robbie. I will tell him you said your best. Okay, thanks. You're gonna name
Bye,
the
Bill.
boat
Bye.
after? Wait. You're gonna name the new boat after him? What?
Bye, Bill.
Bill,
Bye,
are you
Bill.
okay? Okay,
Bye,
bye, Bill.
Bill.
Bill Belichick, sorry. Go ahead.
Got it. No, like I said, I just don't know. I don't have any good answers right now, and obviously I'd love to see.
We'll just have to see what happens, Robbie. We'll
Yeah,
see what happens with MLB and see how they get past this section and to see how they do stuff. And I just don't have any clue how they're going to be able to do it.
The coming
and
weeks,
again,
though, will tell a lot for football wise about what that sort of season and how things are going to go and what it's going to look like. I think
I agree.
These next couple of weeks, especially these next few weeks, especially, are going to be big. So all we can do is wait and see. Unfortunately,
that's right.
I wish we had answers today, but
we don't. Sometimes we don't, Robbie. Sometimes we don't have the answers, and it's okay.
But what we do have, what we do have though, is our final thoughts for episode 48, which we are going to go to right now as we wrap things up here. Doug is lip syncing our final thoughts. Final thoughts.
Singing the final thoughts song.
Yeah, that we haven't come up with yet.
I just came up with it.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
But I only lip sync it, and you can't hear it because my sound is off.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
No sounds. But yeah, Doug, let me
Wait, I'm getting breaking news. Hold on, I'm getting breaking. Wait, you have to come into the shop. Not your hand. There it is, see? You're getting the breaking news right there, see?
Okay.
Get the breaking news. Oh no.
What?
Oh, Bruins lost 4-1. Breaking news right here.
Indeed they did. Yeah, indeed they did.
Breaking news from by the way, Dip Zyman at the news desk.
Yes, thank you.
Bring your hand back in so we can get that. Wait, come on, bring your hand. There we go.
It's the Sports Blitz headlines. The
Sports Blitz headlines. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Sports Blitz headlines. We got the final score for the Bruins.
We need a sponsor though. Sponsored by iPhone. Sponsored by iPhone.
Sponsored by. You can't mention iPhone if it's not a sponsor, man.
Free. Hey, I'm giving them free publicity.
No, we don't want free. Get them free. Don't give them free.
Sponsored by my Zoom app. I don't know.
Sponsored by. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, back to
sponsored by Robbie's MLB.
Sponsored
team.
by the now defunct Mount Ida College.
Mount Ida. Yeah, great. They have no money.
Exactly. They're out of school. But getting back to the regularly scheduled programming here, like I said, it's time for final thoughts for episode 48. So, Doug, let me throw it to you first. What are your final thoughts?
Oh, I was catching what we were throwing.
Yeah.
Excellent. So my final thoughts are a couple things. There is, I love this. This is awesome. There is a new NHL team that's going to start next year, and they're going to be in Seattle, and they're going to be called the Seattle Kraken.
Release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken. That's awesome. Release the hounds. It's
Hold on,
gonna be
spell
awesome. It looks like their logo is gonna be pretty cool. And I've seen the sweaters and stuff. It looks pretty cool. Pretty cool. So very excited about a little bit of an expansion to the NHL a little bit. And
Expanding.
expansion is always good. So we'll go with expansion. But anyway, I think that's it's going to be really cool, and we'll see what happens. Typically with these things, sometimes things get a little crazy, but I love the uniforms. Great. So it's one thing that the Washington Redskins didn't do very well because they're calling themselves, Robbie. What are they calling themselves until they figure out a name?
The Washington football team.
Yeah, great name.
Double thumbs
Wonderful.
up to you guys. Great job.
Yeah, jeez. Wait, I can see the war room right now. It's like it's one guy. He's surrounded by walls. There's nothing on the walls. He's got a desk and a chair, and he goes, what's we're a football team in Washington. Yes, that's it. The Washington football team. That's perfect. It took him 4 minutes to figure this out. Unbelievable. I have a real hard time with that. I just it's all good, but I'm glad we don't live in Washington Beach. It would not be a good thing to live down there at all. I do have some sad news from the baseball world.
Oh boy.
Well, I think you probably know by now, Robbie. Former Red Sox manager.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah, John McNamara, who was 88 years old, passed away. So obviously, thoughts and prayers going out to the McNamara family.
Absolutely.
Anybody
And
connected
by
with
the
him.
way, Greg Dickerson's a dick. I just wanted to put that out there. He sent out a tweet that was really just kind of like mean and inappropriate in regards to Bob McNamara or John McNamara's death. So I just, yeah, you definitely get the Dick and Dickerson there.
Wow. Wow. So he was the manager from 85 to 88. And obviously, we just want to send our thoughts and prayers. Yeah, thoughts and prayers out to him. And unfortunately, it is what it is these days. But
yeah.
But those are my two final thoughts there, Robbie. What are your final thoughts for the evening?
So my final thought is that there was actually a Boston pro sports team that won a title and brought another title to Title Town, that is Boston.
That was me.
Massachusetts.
Oh, no. Wasn't me.
No, it was the good old Boston Cannons of Major League Lacrosse this past weekend captured
the Boston Cannons. Now that's a cool name, man.
I love it.
Washington football team.
So yeah, they captured their MLL, the Major League Lacrosse Championship, this past weekend by beating the top-seeded Denver Outlaws.
Now, were they in a bubble? How'd they play?
They were in a bubble in Annapolis, Maryland.
Cool.
But I will say this, and it's interesting because they actually had to postpone or cancel, I should say, one of the playoff games because one of the other teams actually did have a positive test even while they were still in the bubble. So unfortunately, one of the playoff teams had to sort of be withdrawn from the playoffs there.
Oops.
Yeah,
Whoopsie
daisy. But fortunately, it did not impact the Cans, who, like I said, brought home the Major League Lacrosse title, and so we send them a big congratulations as another title comes, like I said, to title town, Boston, Massachusetts. So, we don't really talk a whole lot of cannons on the sports splits. Probably never will again after this, but just wanted to give them credit.
Plus, they win the title again next year.
Yeah, give them credit where credit's due. So, way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go to the Boston Cannons.
All right.
Yeah, all right, as Matthew McConaughey would say.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's Elvis.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anyway, that is going to wrap up episode 48 of the Sports Blitz. Looking ahead to episode 49, definitely will be taking a look at the Red Sox progress or lack of progress, depending on how things go. Obviously, with the NBA and NHL truly restarting, we'll have a lot to talk about there. Obviously, any more NFL related news as that sort of process goes along.
And I just wanted to say, Robbie, that we are in the process of putting together some more special guests.
Absolutely.
So please tune in, because we are going to have some special guests coming up soon.
We got a lot of good stuff down the road. So keep an ear or an eye out, or two eyes out. Exactly. So, like I said, that's going to do it for episode 48 of the Sports Blitz. As always, Doug, thanks as always for
thanks. I'm going to go back in my cave now.
Yep. Good luck.
I'm opting in.
Good luck.
Opting into my cave, man.
For Doug, I'm Robbie. I should try to say for Doug, the sports guy, I'm Robbie, also the sports guy, and we'll see you next time here on the Sports Blitz. See you, everyone.